what we've heard,
Yeah.
what we think about of these groups. Like I do the observations and the practice notes and all that, and it's very much here's what's happening today, here's what you need to know, because I haven't done as much like here's a feature on a guy or here's something specific on a guy, because that's a summer story. That's something you want to. So it's more of like here we go, to get to the point where it's like, all right, let's go through the list and let's talk about it. So here we go. That's what the show's going to be. So if you want some spring football talk, buckle up. Here we go. We're going to start with a quarterback. I think it was funny. We walked off of a practice field not too long ago, and I think you looked at me and said, "Hey, 17 should start."
Yeah, file that one away. That I think Byrum Brown is, he's a player to watch, certainly.
So Dan, there's a natural thing that people are going to say with Byrum Brown of, well, we've heard quarterbacks get hyped up before at Auburn, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And we've probably heard people say, "Oh, this is different." This is different though. I think it's worth explaining and exploring why it's different, because I think you have a very unique set of circumstances that have gotten Byrum Brown here and to be in this spot where when you go out to the practice field and you watch this offense work and you watch these quarterbacks work, it's clear that the orange jersey in 17 is just, it looks different than what we've seen at practices the last few seasons. For a while now. I will say that. For a while now, it's been very different. Because I would even argue when Bo Nix was here, there was so much change and there was so much up and down there that it didn't quite look like this. There's this level of continuity and consistency that he's been able to hit the ground running at Auburn and has embraced the spotlight, the attention, the pressure, and the leadership, because I think that's just how this dude's wired.
And unfortunately, I think that often when we've talked about the presumptive starter for Auburn at quarterback, it starts with the disclaimer, yeah, he had a bad season last year.
But we haven't really seen him at we haven't seen what he's really capable of yet.
And I think one of the things that separates Byrum Brown from most of those guys is that you're talking about a guy who was one of the best quarterbacks in college football last season.
Yeah.
Like a guy who had one of the best seasons in the bowl subdivision last year.
How about he had one of the best statistical seasons in the modern era in terms of being 3,000, 1,000 is hard to do.
Jaden Daniels is the only other quarterback in the 2020s who has had a season at the bowl subdivision level with 3,000 or more passing yards, 1,000 or more rushing yards. He won the Heisman that year for LSU.
And that's the thing. It's you'll hear that and some people say, well, he did it at USF. It's like, well, why isn't every other AAC quarterback doing it? Why isn't every other G5 quarterback doing it if it's so easy?
And that's also he didn't do it against, wait until he sees SEC competition is exactly what people said about Diego Pavia. Wait until he comes.
This is a different offense, and this is a different dude than Pavia.
Right, but it's wait until Pavia sees SEC teams, and then they'll. It's no, they won't. He'll play really well for 2 years.
People said that about Jaden Daniels.
People said that about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, he was coming from Arizona State.
And I know that the results weren't it wasn't a straight line with John Mateer. Right, and they made the playoffs, but even John Mateer to an extent, people said, well, wait until he starts seeing SEC teams, and with Mateer,
I keep going back to the fact that Byrum Brown beat an SEC team last year.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
it's the same number that Auburn did. Yeah. Brown, I think, Dan, when you watch him play and you watch him throw the ball, it's just okay, this is a guy who is completely comfortable and in control of the situation. Is that going to mean he's going to have that immediate success and go nuts at Auburn like he did at South Florida? I don't know. It's impossible to predict that. But when you talk about this is why you go and make the move you did to get Alex Golesh and let him bring as much of what made him successful at USF over as possible, as much as you can, getting a quarterback. And even though Byrum Brown's just got 1 year, even though he can only do this for 1 year, it could be very, very much worth it, because as we were talking, Rayshawn Pleasant said this yesterday or on Thursday after practice, is his fan base has been going through a drought. They want to see you win. And so for Auburn, it's not well, let's put a quarterback out there that we can develop. And anybody can get snatched at any moment in the we're dealing with that with basketball right now. For Byrum Brown, it's you're here because you're here because if you prove yourself at SEC level, you have a shot to be an NFL quarterback. And I firmly believe that. Maybe not a first rounder, but maybe a guy that can get on a team and be a mid-round pick and do something if you can prove it at this level. And for Auburn, it's can you help us win more games than we lose? Like, if you do that, then this is already a success. This is already worth it.
And it seems like with so many quarterbacks who present the dual threat or quarterbacks